I'll hear a motion for consent. Okay, we'll call a roll on consent. And yes, Assemblymember Quirk, you're next.
Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Huff?
Consent.
Huff, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Aye. Monning, aye. Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 7.
7, we'll keep the roll open for our absent members. Members, we're on item 7, AB 1778, Assemblymember Quirk. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chair and members. AB 1778 will require that all staff at institutes of higher learning who accept state financial aid are trained annually on how to respond to and report incidents of sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking involving a student. So the big change here is all staff. When students experience sexual violence, they are likely to report the incident to a trusted coach or resident advisor on their campus, unaware that this person may not be adequately trained to appropriately report and support the victim. The lack of all-inclusive annual training may lead to mismanagement of these incident reports and may inadvertently discourage students from reporting these incidents. Members, imagine a student who is a member of a university club and another student makes her feel belittled and helpless by sexually harassing her. This student decides to speak out and inform a university lecturer that she knows. The lecturer, instead of making her feel supported by reporting the incident to the appropriate official, reports this incident to the club's faculty advisor. The club's faculty advisor comes to the conclusion that no further action is necessary because the offended student has decided to quit the club. No reports are made and the offended student is not reprimanded. The student, in an effort to avoid harasser, has withdrawn from other social activities and collegiate opportunities. Approximately 1 year later, the offended student sexually harasses her again. Members, parents at San Diego State University don't have to imagine this scenario because this is exactly what happened to their daughter. California can and must do a better job of protecting students from further trauma on college campuses. I respectfully request your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill, is there anyone in support of the bill? Please come forward.
Yes, Ryan Brown with the California State Student Association in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Luis Jimenez, students from Sacramento City College, we're in support of this bill.
Thank you. Any others in support of the bill? Is there any opposition to the bill? The committee didn't receive any written opposition. Questions from members. Senator Hancock.
Yes, I would like to move the bill, and I really want to thank you for bringing it forward, Assemblyman Quirk. It's exactly the kind of thing that we need to do to start to change the culture. As I've been studying more about the situation in Stanford that's made all the headlines, the real culprit here is a culture of sex and drinking that our institutions of higher education have not adequately addressed. And I think this is a first and very important first step, and I would very much appreciate being added as a co-author.
Thank you. We will do that.
Okay. The bill has been moved. Any other questions from comments from members? Thank you for bringing the bill forward, and let's call the roll.
This item number 7, AB 1778. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Huff? Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Aye. Monning, aye. Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. 6.
6.
Thank you, Senators.
Sufficient to repatch, leave the roll open for our absent members. Assemblymember Dodd, you have one bill, item 8, AB 1783.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. AB AB 1783 will make our children's school classrooms safer in the event of an earthquake. In the early morning of September 2014, the South Napa earthquake struck and caused widespread damage to classrooms in the Napa Valley Unified School District. Post-earthquake inspections showed that bookshelves, file cabinets, televisions, light fixtures, and more had toppled onto school desks and blocked schoolroom entry and exits. While we have statutory earthquake standards that keep school roofs and walls from collapsing, there are no requirements to keep items inside schoolrooms from falling on students, teachers, and school personnel. 16 years ago, the legislature directed the state architect to develop guidelines to help schools make contents of school rooms earthquake safe. Few schools have paid attention and followed those guidelines. In Napa, we were so very lucky that the classes were not in session when that earthquake hit. If children had been present, injuries and more than likely deaths would surely occur, as I see members looking up as we speak. Damage in Napa schools was not unique. This had occurred in other school districts where earthquakes had struck throughout the state of California. The sergeant has already passed out the pictures of the damage in a number of school districts to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. The goal of AB 1783 is to get school districts in areas of high seismic risk to pay attention to earthquake safety guidelines that already exist, and to fix the most serious items that are an imminent threat to the safety of our students and teachers. There's no opposition to this bill and is supported by teachers, parents, and structural engineers. I request your aye vote, and I do have some.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill, please.
Thank you. My name is John Evans. I'm with Napa Valley Unified School District. As Bill shared with you, we faced that challenge after that earthquake in August of 2014. Napa Valley Unified felt so concerned because we, like almost all school districts in the state, had failed to take care of the interior of our classrooms in terms of ensuring that things would not fall down. I think we all felt that a file cabinet could not tip over when it's loaded. Not the case when Mother Nature strikes. When we had to use jacks to open up doors, we all became concerned that if there had been kids in there, we could not have got to them. So we, on our own, last summer, 2015, took the time to go through every elementary school and secure anything 36 inches or higher. This summer, we're doing it at the secondary schools, the same thing. We will have expended several $100,000 to accomplish this, but we can go home each night knowing that if the earthquake strikes, those things that had fallen before will not occur. And as Bill said, we know that if it occurred during the day, we would have had injuries and perhaps worse. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Ryan Kirsting. I'm a licensed California structural engineer, and I'm representing the Structural Engineers Association of California as past president of the board. I'm here speaking to you on behalf of our 3,000 members engaged in the structural engineering profession. SEAC understands the importance of the safety of public schools and seeks ways in particular to further the seismic safety of our schools, which includes consideration of the structure itself, the non-structural components and equipment, as well as the contents and the furnishings. This bill seeks to improve the safety by minimizing the risk associated with the contents and furnishings in the school buildings, and the safe installation of these items is generally outside of the scope of the Field Act and therefore not regulated by the Division of the State Architect or the California Building Code. However, we as engineers understand these items can still pose a significant risk to occupants, as witnessed in Napa and after other earthquakes as well. This bill refers to a guide that has been written for an audience of non-engineers and provides simple conceptual details for installation and instructions that can be easily followed by staff members at the school sites. Once implemented, these small steps required by this bill will go a long way to improve the safety of our school children. SEAC is supporting this bill, and we're asking for your support as well. It is worth noting that this bill only seeks to address the contents and furnishings and does not address some of the items in the guide, including overhead items such as ceilings, lights, and other items that might pose also risks to our school children. We know also from studies such as those conducted after AB 300 was passed years ago that many school buildings are structurally unsafe or at least have unacceptable risks due to seismic behavior. So we hope that these items after this bill can be addressed by further legislation, but we know that AB 1783 is a step in the right direction. We appreciate Mr. Dodd's leadership on this bill and urge your aye vote.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Madam Chair, Tony Triguero on behalf of the California Teachers Association. We support the bill. I think it furthers our fiduciary responsibility to protect those items that we've paid out of taxpayer dollars. So we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Others in support of the bill?
Good morning. I'm Kathy Rabin with the California State PTA Parent Teachers Association, and we are in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Kevin Anderson on behalf of the American Red Cross in support.
Great. Okay, any others in support? Is there opposition to the bill? Oh.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Moira Top on behalf of the California Charter Schools Association. We do not have an opposed position on the bill, but we do have some concerns, so I think we're in the tweener category. We have had some conversations with the author's office, and without respect to the merit of any of these bills that produce a mandate on schools, the challenge for charter schools is the fact that while we are mandated by law to abide by these mandates, we aren't able to receive reimbursement through the Commission on Mandates process. And so like I said, we have been working with the author to, while still in compliance with the measure, to find ways to minimize the cost. For example, while the bill is about contents and ensuring the contents remain safe and safely placed, the bill requires that schools contract with an architect or an engineer in their planning. That could be expensive, and so perhaps there are ways that we can minimize the cost of the bill while still complying with it. So we look forward to working with the author as the bill continues to move through the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any others as a tweener or opposition? Seeing none. Any questions from members? Senator Block.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to comment, this is obviously an important bill and one that protects our students, but I've got to say I do respect the position of the charter schools on this, that, you know, our kids are our kids, whether they're attending traditional schools or charter schools, and I'm sure the author would agree. I think it's important that next year the budget committees take a look at this, and particularly mandates that our health and safety mandates should be funded regardless of whether the school is a traditional public school or a charter school. So I'll be supporting this bill. In fact, I'll move the bill now, but we need to keep that charter school issue in consideration.
Okay, the bill's been moved. Any other comments, questions? You may close.
You know, just to the charter school thing, this is, you know, late word. We just heard from them yesterday. I know that they'd met with our office earlier, but yeah, we're happy with Senator. I think his comments are spot on. I want to just make, the bill does not suggest that they have to contract with an architect or contract with a contractor. It's consult. Just make sure they're doing it right. So there are other opportunities there. And in talking with the you know, Don Evans, the superintendent of services there in that school district, I don't think these costs are very high, and I think they're minimal in comparison to the good things that will happen as a result of keeping our kids and our teachers safe. So thank you. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All right. Jerry, call the roll.
This is item number 8, AB 1783. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Liu? Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Huff? Hancock, aye. Huff? Leyva?
Huff, aye.
Huff, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Pan? Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 4-0.
4-0. We'll leave it open for.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time.
Presenting next.
Okay, our next bill will be item 16, AB 2308. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. I would like to begin by accepting the committee amendments, co-authors, and thanking the committee staff for their hard work. AB 2308 seeks to reduce the number of uninsured young adults by offering community college and California State University students information about health care upon enrollment. It also extends the sunset on AB 2706 of 2014, which is currently providing the same information to K-12 students, schools. Young adults in the age groups between 18 and 34 are uninsured at almost double the rate of older adults. Even though they have many new coverage options under the Federal Affordable Care Act, this bill will help uninsured students around our state enroll in a health plan. With me here today is Mr. Mark Deal from the California Coverage and Health Initiatives, and Gloria Rodriguez, alumni of Sacramento State, to speak on behalf of the bill.
Members of the committee, thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Mark Deal from California Coverage and Health Initiatives, better known as CCHI. As the author said, AB 2308 is a step forward in making sure that all young adults have health insurance and access to care in California. Uninsured adults, 80% of uninsured adults report that they are not aware of the health insurance options under the Affordable Care Act. And there's also notable barriers to enrolling when they do know about it. There's application barriers, there's stigmas associated to enrolling in low-cost health insurance and public programs, and there's the re-enrollment process. What AB 2308 does is it provides information to the students and helps them connect with local assisters. AB 2706 currently provides healthcare coverage information to the K-12 children and their families at the time of school enrollment. This bill will help those K-12 students, when they're getting into higher education, connect with health insurance in the communities that they're moving to. So I kindly ask for your aye vote and appreciate the opportunity.
Hi, my name is Gloria Rodriguez, and I attended California State University, Sacramento. While in school, there wasn't highly publicized guidance on health insurance options for students. It is crucial to provide health insurance information to students and connect them with the best resources to take care of their health and well-being. In my experience, it was difficult to know about health insurance options for my parents, since they don't live in this country, let alone be covered under my parents' insurance. Now, as a Sac State alumni, I'm here to represent the students who, just like me, don't know where to go to seek information about health insurance. I would like to see that change for current and future students in California.
Great. Mr. Chair and Senators, Seth Bramble here on behalf of the California Teachers Association. We do believe that healthy kids learn better. It's borne out by research. We urge your aye vote and thank the author for this important proposal.
More in support?
Kathy Dressler with the Children's Partnership. We're a partner of CCHI, the Coverage California Board, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, and many of our education partners, CTA, CSBA, and others, in the All-In campaign, and appreciate the extension of the sunset date in there to help those families stay insured, not just get insured in the first place, which that has been so successful in doing. I also would like to speak in support of the California Children's Health Coverage Coalition, which includes Children's Defense Fund California, Children Now, United Ways of California, and of course CCHI.
Ryan Brown with the California State Student Association and a student over at Sacramento State in support of this bill.
Rebecca Gonzalez, National Association of Social Workers, California Chapter in support.
Nora Lynn for the California Faculty Association in support.
Nayeli Sandoval with the United Ways of California, also in support.
Okay, now time for the opposition. Anybody out there? Questions, comments from the committee?
Move the bill. Good.
The bill's been moved. Would you like to close?
You speak with one voice.
I just want to say thank you for your consideration, Madam Chair and Senators. This bill has had no opposition, has enjoyed bipartisan support throughout its process in the Assembly, and I would respectfully request your vote here today.
This is item number 16, AB 2308.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Block?
Aye.
Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Huff? Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Han? Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 4-0.
Okay, we'll leave the roll open for our absent members. You have item 20, SB 2494.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Assembly Bill 2494 establishes the Veteran Resource Center's grant program under the Office of the Chancellor of the California Community Colleges. According to the CCC, an estimated 2.2 million veterans reside in California, the most in the nation, nearly 9% of all of America's veterans. The number of veteran students is expected to increase dramatically as more military personnel serving in Iraq and Afghanistan complete their service. As these veterans transition back to civilian life, many attend one of California's 112 community colleges. In fact, it is estimated that over 60,000 veteran students are enrolled in a community college today. Recently, the Chancellor's Office released a Veterans Resource Center Review Project report, which cited the progress of several VRCs statewide and the critical need for the state to partner with community colleges to secure additional resources. The report also found VRCs offer support to veteran students re-entering the educational system by providing them additional guidance and services in a culturally competent manner. AB 2494 builds on the success of the VRC pilot program by creating a statewide initiative to expand and establish VRCs on more campuses. As noted in the committee analysis, there was an effort to providing funding for this program in the budget. However, the effort did stall. I feel strongly that veterans should not fall through the cracks, and I'm moving forward to establish this program through AB 2494. With me here to testify in support is Dana Nickel, representing AMVETS, Department of California, and several other veteran organizations. I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you very much. This bill has support on both sides, and there's no opposition, so please.
Dana Nickel with Pete Conatina Associates. All of our veterans clients support this. AMVETS, American Legion, California Association of County Veteran Service Officers, Military Officers Association of America, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Vietnam Veterans of America, and we urge your support on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill?
David Hilton, Student Senate President of American River College, and I'm in support.
Thank you.
Ashley Walker with Nossaman on behalf of North Orange County Community College District in support.
Great. Okay. Any others in support? Again, is there any opposition? We didn't receive any written opposition. Are there questions from members?
Move the bill, Madam Chair.
The bill has been moved. Okay. Would you like to close, Assembly Member?
Thank you for your time, Madam Chair and Senators. I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you. All right. Let's call the roll.
This is item number 20, AB 2494. The motion is due pass to Veterans Affairs Committee. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Block? Hancock? Aye. Hancock, aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 6.
6 votes sufficient for passage. We'll keep the roll open for our absent members.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Senators.
Thank you very much. Okay, Assembly Member Chow, you have item 22, AB 2536. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Senators. AB 2536 addresses the issue of sexual bullying by doing two things. One, requiring the California Department of Education to post information regarding sexual bullying on the California Healthy Kids Resource Center internet website. And two, clarifying that sexual bullying is a part of cyberbullying so that public schools can act when students are sexually bullying other students. Sexual bullying is a form of bullying commonly facing teenagers today. It is a behavior that can include harassing an individual or others through comments or actions that are sexual in nature. Sexting, or the act of exchanging sexual or videos electronically, has become a recent occurrence in the lives of many young people and is oftentimes a major form of sexual bullying. Sexual bullying has real consequences. Unfortunately, some teenagers have committed suicide because of the effect of sexual bullying. Additionally, some states have begun prosecuting teenagers who sexted under state child pornography laws. AB 2536 will help schools keep their campus climates positive and rich for learning, and also cut down on incidents of sexual bullying. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. In support of the bill.
Erica Hoffman on behalf of the California School Boards Association. Yes, this does add one more thing to the list that students can be expelled for and suspended for. However, the incidence of sexting, of sexual bullying, has become very prevalent, unfortunately, amongst our teenagers. By specifically including this within the list of issues, we believe it will place a better focus on it and help to hopefully stop this practice for our students. We would urge your aye vote on this measure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll associate myself with Ms. Hoffman's comments. Barrett Snyder on behalf of all the school districts in San Bernardino County, the Santa Clara County Office of Education, and the Small School Districts Association in support. Thanks.
Thank you. Others in support of the bill? Is there any opposition to the bill? Are we coming forward in support or opposition? Opposition. Okay, please come forward. We didn't receive any written opposition. Oh, I see. Okay. All right, please.
Good morning, Danielle Kando Kaiser. I am here on behalf of Common Sense Kids Action. We're part of a coalition. I apologize if the letter was not submitted to committee. Again, we are part of a larger coalition, and we strongly believe that prevention, not punishment, is the most effective method of preventing inappropriate behavior and harm to children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, committee. My name is Chauncey Smith, American Civil Liberties Union of California. We're also part of the coalition just referenced, and I echo the comments that she just made. In addition to taking a preventative approach rather than punishment, I'd like to add two other points. One is that we believe that the proposal put forth by Assemblymember Chow could lead to discrimination and disparate treatment of minority and LGBT students. The latter are often hypersexualized, and we think this could be a negative result for them. And lastly, in terms of solutions, we think positive behavior interventions are a more evidence-based approach that would actually help resolve the problem rather than pushing students out of school. Students who are misbehaving are often the ones most needy and actually need to be worked with closely and stay in the school system rather than excluded. And lastly, evidence-based approaches would probably be best. Thanks very much.
Okay. Opposed to the bill?
Opposed. My name is Lillian Chen. I'm with Public Counsel and will elaborate on some of the comments of my colleagues. I do want to identify each of the members of the coalition that we all belong to. It's Public Counsel, Common Sense, Legal Services for Children, ACLU, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, the Los Angeles LGBT Center, and the East Bay Community Law Center. And we all strongly oppose this bill. We share the desire to address sexting by students, but disagree on what's going to be the most effective method of doing so. Preventative methods that include sexual harassment and sexual health education, clear complaint and investigative procedures, and restorative practices that hold students accountable for repairing the harm they've caused are all effective research-based methods for curtailing this kind of behavior. Decades of research has made clear that punitive approaches that exclude students from school, which in effect give them unsupervised time off, do nothing to prevent repeat behavior. Moreover, the ambiguous language included in this bill, including the term sexually suggestive, will inevitably lead to discriminatory application against primarily Black and Latino boys who are already disproportionately subjected to similarly vague, suspendable acts codified within 48900, the best example of which is willful defiance. This legislature has worked tirelessly to roll back the harmful impact of such vague categories within 48900, and this bill would undo much of that progress. To truly address sexting, the legislature should turn toward sexual harassment and sexual health education, awareness, and training, as well as positive behavioral interventions and supports and restorative practices, which set high baseline standards for how students and adults treat each other with empathy and respect on campus. These methods, and not suspension and expulsion, have effectively decreased the kinds of behaviors this bill attempts to address. Therefore, we ask for your no vote.
Thank you very much. Would you like, Assemblymember Chow, would you like to respond to the opposition, please?
I'll be happy to do so, Madam Chair. First of all, let me start by saying that I don't disagree with the fact that prevention and education are the best way to address this issue of sexual bullying, and that is why my bill actually requires the Department of Education to post the information about sexual bullying online, and that will serve as a resource for school districts on how they can combat this very important issue. Now, the bill merely clarifies the existing law as to what is considered sexual bullying in cyberspace. It doesn't really create an offense, a new offense for suspension or expulsion. And moreover, the education code clearly states that the suspension should only be the last resort, and after all the other preventive measures have failed. And that doesn't change. That remains the same. I'm not changing that part of the code at all. Now, the bill does not, my goal is not obviously to suspend or expel students. My hope obviously is that the schools will be able to use the information on the internet website to instruct students on how the behavior will impact the students negatively. So as to the concern that was raised earlier about the policy regarding expulsion and suspension that may be selectively enforced and as a result impacting minority groups as a result, the truth of the matter is the federal law already bans discriminatory disciplining based on the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It is indeed a federal crime to discipline based on personal characteristics, including race, color, national origin, disability, religion, and gender. So it could be a federal crime to discriminate based on all those grounds. Let me close by also saying that today, approximately 20% of our teenagers have sent a sex message, and many of them have devastating effect and related to cyberbullying. And this phenomena is not getting better, but worse. We should also think about the victim. I think we talked about the perpetrator for a while, how to educate, how to train staffing, but we should also think about the victim, for example, whose new picture is being sent to literally hundreds of people without their consent, simply with a click of a button. And 9 times out of 10, these pictures or images or videos cannot even be retrieved and can be stored permanently on somebody's smartphones. Now imagine that victim being someone you know, or somebody, even your own child. What remedy do you have? What do you think? And I think that as legislators, it is incumbent upon us to help these students to provide a conducive environment for them to learn. So with that, I want to urge all of you to support this bill. This is a very important bill and will help our students. Thank you very much.
Senator Liu, if I may.
Sure.
I also wanted to point out a very important part of the committee's analysis, which is that the behavior that Assemblymember Chow was trying to capture is already covered under other provisions of the Education Code for bullying and sexual harassment. To add another provision to 48900 is just going to exacerbate the situation and lead to more push out of the students that are most needy and need the most help and actually need to be in school.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions from members? No. Senator Pan.
Thank you. Senator Chow, I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and certainly I don't disagree with you about the seriousness of the situation in terms of sexting. In fact, you I think, if I'm sure I quoted you correctly, you said 20% of, I think, high school students, teenagers have have basically texted sexual images. And actually, when I hear about that, that makes me a little worried, actually, a little bit about this bill, because that means potentially 20% of teenagers could be expelled or suspended. Now, I know that's not your intent, and that may not be what school districts do, but that's a lot of students that lie. So I guess the question I have for you, because I think the concern is not with the posting of the information, is why is it that the current standards around bullying and sexual harassment, in other words, it has to rise to a level where it's actually, where it's creating, that's rated in law. isn't sufficient to address the issue, because I know we've worked hard here to actually limit suspensions, to do restorative justice, to recognize that as terrible as students may engage in, behaviors that are not, that we don't approve of, and that may even be somewhat harmful. Obviously, we need to protect the victims. That's very important. But actually just then sending them out of the school doesn't really solve the problem. In fact, may even exacerbate the problem. So I guess I'm trying to understand, this seems to me that we're actually broadening it, maybe not much, but we're actually broadening the opportunities for us to send the students out, and instead of saying that, well, actually, instead of trying to expel or suspend them, if it doesn't rise to what's already defined in law as bullying or sexual harassment, that we should be seeking other means of addressing the issue in the school district.
Yeah, thank you for your question. And I think the 20% that I cited earlier pertains to the entire gamut of sexting behavior within the teenagers. Now, of the 20%, not all of them would constitute cyberbullying, for example. Let's say there's consensual sexting, which is, consent between two, let's say, consenting individual students, for example, which would not be subject to this law. And also, my proposal only pertains to situations where the sexting behavior rises to the level that would have the effect or purpose of humiliating or harassing another student. So that is the scope of the proposal under my law. Now, as to the other part of your question, what about other means of disciplining the students? Now, I've spoken to a number of administrators throughout the district regarding this issue, and they resort to different parts of the code section to discipline their students. They could do so, but they have various parts of the code sections under the education code, but there is no uniformity as to how this law could be used, for example. So some districts are using the code section under willful defiance, for example. Some use sexual harassment. So it's all over the place. So there's no uniformity, or there's no central place for them to go to, for example, when it comes to this kind of behavior. Now, as to the that's I guess those are your concerns, right? So other school districts are,
So I guess my concern is that we're actually broadening. We have a standard we have for bullying. We have a standard for sexual harassment in which the school district can suspend or expel a student.
Right.
And essentially what appears to me is that your bill would actually broaden the opportunities for that, and I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing in terms of, because again, expulsion and suspension is a way to take care of the problem for the school or the school district, but it actually doesn't take care of the problem for the community, because the youth is still around. They're just not actually in a structured educational environment anymore. So that often makes things worse. And I'm not sure we should be increasing those opportunities in which that would happen. And I think in general, we've worked very hard here to actually decrease that. That actually, if the student has a problem or engaging some poor behavior, let's try to figure out how to handle it within the school, instead of just saying, well, we're going to kick you out of school, and then who's taking care of it when you're out in the community and you're not at school? I mean, it's the school actually maybe, and realize there's other students and so forth. We have to keep everyone safe at school. So I guess I hope that you'll work with the opposition and consider whether this provision is, how important it is to the bill. But I think at this point, I will lay off, and hope, though, you can work with the opposition and get the bill into a form when it hits the floor.
Let me just add to that. I think, the intent is to narrow the scope of the behavior, not so much broaden it. And I think that, the only thing the bill does is that it clarifies what sexual bullying is. So it's defined as the behavior that would rise to the level that would humiliate or harass another student. So I just kind of disagree with, the allegation or the assertion that, you're broadening the scope of the disciplining. It's actually narrowing it in that regard. So, but I'll be happy to continue to work with the opposition. Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? I do have the same kind of concerns expressed by Senator Pan. I mean, I understand that you seek to clarify sexual bullying, and I think you do that. But I am concerned about the punishment, the ultimate conclusion here, because we have worked very hard to do prevention and do positive behavior reinforcement and things like that, and do things that have been evidence-based. And the bill does not address those issues. And I too would hope that you have, this goes to appropriations, so and it's only a week, so, but I would hope that, and I don't know whether or not you have had conversations with the opposition, but I would hope that you would
We'll continue that discussion.
seek some kind of resolution here, because we are concerned about just tossing kids out of school to be on their own without any kind of instruction or rehabilitation, so to speak.
Absolutely. That part of the disciplining scheme is not changed by the law. I mean, whatever is in the law is there. So, yeah, I'll be happy to continue that conversation with the opposition as well.
Senator Monning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also share some of the concerns voiced by the opposition. I'm prepared to be supportive today and see what it looks like should it make it to the Senate floor. I do think the value of this is clarifying that the use of electronic means, texting, Facebook, et cetera, is part of the broader list of bullying activities. And I think the benefit of your bill is to put a spotlight on that. I like the part of putting on district websites further information clarifying that, hopefully getting that information not just to students but also parents. So I do think we need to put a spotlight on the use of electronic equipment for bullying, whether it's sexual in content or other forms of bullying or hurtful use of that communication means. So I'm prepared to move the bill today and do take to heart the concerns raised by the opposition. And should it pass here today and approves, we'll take another close look at it on the Senate floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from members? Okay, the bill has been moved. Would you like to close?
I want to thank all of you for your consideration. Let me just close with this story, which happened in Saratoga, California. A 15-year-old sophomore at Saratoga High School attended this unsupervised party where she passed out from alcohol, and she was sexually assaulted by 3 teenage boys who took photos of the incident and then texted, emailed, and posted those photos on Facebook. And 8 days later, she committed suicide, and this was close at home. So with that, I respectfully ask for I vote.
Okay, thank you. The bill has been moved. Let's call the roll.
Item number 22, AB 2536. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Block? Hancock? Huff? Huff, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Monning, aye. Pan? Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 4-0.
You have 4 votes. We'll leave the roll open for our absent members.
Thank you very much, everyone.